And green-white Tron. Yeah, and I think this Pure Steel deck had a lot of hype for about a week there before regionals. It's still very powerful. The fact that Death Shadow Jund got big right now is horrible for the deck, and I think that's why players have stopped talking about it.
Yes.
The matchup is sub 30%. It's really bad.
There are matchups where the inclusion of Tarfire and Death Shadow is laughable. Pure Steel Paladin is not one of those. It's just a one-mana catch-all.
So
Swords to Plowshares.
Well, and they also have 8 discard spells. It's horrible. Those guys, you can't get them to survive. You can't. Against other decks, like a big mana Jund, you actually can overload their mana. But you can't even do that with Death Shadow because their threat costs 1.
That is a bummer.
We'll see if Jeremiah knows what's going on. So, turn 1 and 2 plays 2 different Urza pieces. And for Aaron, is he going to go for a turn 2 kill? Let's see. Pure Steel Paladin. It's possible that he can go for it. And Paradise Mantle. Slight difference between SRAM and Pure Steel is that Pure Steel draws the cards when the artifacts enter the battlefield, and SRAM draws them when you cast.
Whammy.
Path to Exile on the 2-drop.
3 copies in the main deck. Had it.
See, this is what happens when I play in decks. Now he's just going to make Natural Tron and Karn the land, and then I'll just, darn. Now, the question will be, did Aaron keep a hand with multiple copies of this? There are 4 copies. Oh, wow. Actually, I was going to say there's 4 copies of Serum Visions to help find more. He's not playing Serum Visions.
That's where we made room for Paradoxical Outcome. For Jeremiah, you see these black-bordered 8th edition Tron lands. I believe that they are Russian. Foreign core set product was black-bordered.
So actually, do want to mention the list he's playing. So what Aaron has done to, I guess, what the stock list is he's cut the Serum Visions. He's playing more equipment than normal.
Okay.
He is all the way up to 20 zero-mana equipments. Normally, you see players go down to about 17 or 16. This is going to lower his fail rate, but it means that a kill spell can be that much more brutal for him.
On the topic of fail rate, Jeremiah set up Tron very easily. Didn't have a payoff on turn 3, but setting up for maybe a turn 4 Ulamog.
Yeah, it looks like that. So Aaron will get another chance if he has a 2-drop in his hand. But yeah, once Ulamog hits, and more importantly, actually, if he has Oblivion Stone, if Oblivion Stone's in play, that's better than Ulamog here, just because you can't combo through it. Yeah, Aaron just saying go. And now Jeremiah's going to Ulamog away some lands.
I recommend the white ones.
You leave him with a basic island. And that's interesting. Off that path to exile, Aaron chose to get an island instead of a plains. He drew another Pure Steel that turn. If he has Mox Opal and another equipment in his hand, that actually is going to cost him. And game 1 goes to our Tron player, Jeremiah Linebarder.
I was going to say before we got underway that this might be a great matchup to showcase the power of the Pure Steel Paladin deck. Problem being, Tron ended up taking it down. That Path to Exile on turn 2 was right on time. That stopped the Paladin deck from going off.
Right, so it's a blitzing combo deck where he basically checked on turn 2 for a removal spell and hoped to win if his opponent didn't have one.
Right.
So this used to, before the printing of SRAM, this was kind of a joke deck in Modern where people, is the kind of thing you might see at your local stores, Tuesday night Modern. Guys like, hey, I have some Pure Steel Paladins. I threw together this hilarious deck. Hope you don't have lightning bolts. and if they didn't, they'd turn to you, and it's kind of funny the first time. The guy would go like 1-3 with it because, he only had 4 of them. So with the printing of SRAM, there were 8. And now it suddenly becomes more reasonable to play a deck that has to have one of these cogs. Now, to a certain point, you're still just checking people on turn 2 for the kill spell.
Right. And as we go to the sideboards here for the Pure Steel Paladin player, we have 4 Leyland of Sanctity, 3 Metallic Rebuke, 3 Echoing Truth, 2 Wear Tear, 2 Sigarda's Aid, 1 Aetherflux Reservoir. Really not too much that matters a lot against Tron. I suppose the only card he cares about out of this deck generally is going to be Path to Exile. You could see Metallic Rebuke come in for that reason. That could fight that battle. Dispel will be preferred, but that one will play. As we go over to Jeremiah's sideboard on the Tron side, 3 Nature's Claim, 2 Thragtusk, 2 Blessed Alliance, 2 Rest in Peace, 2 Eidolon of Rhetoric, a Ghost Quarter, a Walking Ballista, a Spellskite, and a Warping Whale. The Eidolon of Rhetoric, really the big finds here. If we can get that on time, that'll prevent the combo player from comboing off. Problem being, Eidolon costs 3 mana. Unlikely to matter, but it could.
There's a chance, you know, Path to Exile into Eidolon could matter. On the draw, I think you're right where it's going to be tougher.
Right. If you have the Path to Exile, you force Aaron to go off with a second Paladin effect already. But if you have Path plus Eidolon, it becomes close to impossible to actually lose.
Let's run the weekly sale. All right, players going to get ready for a second game. Over Star City Games for a second game here. So this is a pretty quick one in this matchup. Especially with the way Aaron's deck's built, he doesn't have too much reload capability.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he's going to try to blitz Jeremiah with a fast combo, and he'll either succeed or fail in that.
Right.
All right. Over StarCityGames.com, we are running our weekly sale. We have every week a new item in the store on sale. This week we've been giving away up to 50% off select from the Vault singles. So these are the foil promos that have come out in Wizards products every year. You can see some of them over there. We have... oh man, I don't even know. From the Vault. It's not from the Vault Angels. It's from the Vault
Legends.
It's like Legend. Okay.
Which card are you talking about?
Avacyn.
That is from Angels.
Is it just Angels? It's not Angelic or something?
It's just Angels.
Okay. So, all right. All of we have lots of different sales going on. That's going to be going on all weekend. So head over there this weekend to get the discounts on those, and check in on Monday at 11 a.m. for next week's sale. StarCityGames.com.
Perhaps you were thrown by dual decks, Divine versus Demonic.
There you go. Yeah. Well, what is it? It's not from the Vault Lands. It's from the Vault Realms. Right. So I was like, oh, they all have fancy names.
From the Vault. Well, they don't all. I mean, the first one was from the Vault Dragons.
I wasn't.
You knew exactly what you were getting.
From the Vault Elder Drakes or something.
From the Vault Ancient Scaly Monsters.
I
That one probably didn't make it past development.
That was the original working, but the graphic design team couldn't figure out a way to make it work.
Too many
they
characters.
went with dragons.
Too many characters. More to the point.
Aaron taking a mulligan here. This deck mulligans a fair amount.
You may not. So. That's my read on the situation.
I played a whole tournament with it. I mulliganed sometimes. There's some great sideboard cards that when you look... So the Pure Steel Paladin deck is not looking to play legitimate Magic in any way. And when you look at its sideboards, the best part about like really silly decks is the sideboards get even weirder. I like that he has a Leylander. His is actually pretty normal. You see Sigarda's Aid? You know that one right away? Maybe not.
Do you know that one right away?
I do, because I do. It's a 1-mana enchantment that says you may cast your auras and equipments as though they had flash.
Ooh. That lets you draw some cards.
I play the Pure Steel, and then if you bolt him in response, I start comboing in response.
Oh, why don't we main deck this one?
Because it's horrible?
Oh.
Okay. I mean, other things sometimes you see in these sideboards, Favor of the Mighty.
Yep, I've seen that one.
That one we know. Come on now.
There's a good number of matchups where your opponent will just have a larger creature, and that's a problem.
No, there's like not that many. It's just Grixis. All right, turn 1, map, and I have a Patron piece from Jeremiah. Turn 2, is Aaron going to go for it immediately? Sometimes they can set up a turn. And sometimes just go for it. This is what the deck does.
Favor of the Mighty was printed when I drafted a lot, and so cards that ate my rare slot that were bad, I knew those ones.
Yeah, card's not even good in draft.
No, it wasn't even good when you were drafting Giants.
That's
just didn't really matter ever.
Yeah, I mean, I need my like 6/6 for 7 to have protection from things. And here we go. Is the combo time? Turn 2, turn 2. His opponent's tapped out. This is good.
Only you have to be concerned about double gut shot from here.
All right, Spider Silk Net. A Quarter's Shield. He's going to do a lot of this. Paradise Mantle. Now he has Metalcraft. A Paradise Mantle. Keep going, keep going. This is great. Another A Quarter's Shield. This deck's full of winners. Another Spider Silk Net. We now have 2 of all of them.
This is a point when you're playing online. You go see what's in the fridge, hit that F6 button.
Ooh, Cathar's Shield. It's just like a quarter shield with a different name. And then we put them all on the Paladin. So he now has the Birds of Paradise ability. And he is now a 217 Reach Vigilance.
I don't know how Tron beats a 217.
My mistake. It's not 3 nets. It's only 2. He's only a 215. Can he beat that, though? He said he didn't know he beats a 217.
That's much more beatable.
Yeah. You know, so he's going to go ahead and hit for 2. Sometimes they'll replace some of these with Bone Saw so that when this happens, you can hit harder. Makes sense, right? Yeah.
Makes sense.
Because then he'd be hitting for 3. It's only for 2 right now.
I mean, it's pretty unfortunate when you lose the game after drawing 9 additional cards. You need that Bone Saw equity to claw your way back into the game.
You know, we were talking about things you can do in the mirror. And here was our best plan. You do this on turn 2. Then you chalice for first. You dump all your equipment on turn 0. Then you chalice for 0, and then you beat him up with the Pure Steel Paladin. Because you played your equipment first.
I suppose they can still cast equipment, but they can't ever get Mox Opal, therefore can't Grape Shot you.
Right. You use turn 0, play all your equipment, chalice for 0, say go. Got him.
This is just great magic.
Eidolon of Rhetoric, the play here from Jeremiah. And Metallic Rebuke from Aaron Neuding. That one was only ever going to cost 1 mana. He has some artifacts to tap.
Yes.
Turn 4, another Pure Steel Paladin. A Quarter Shield, draw 2. Now we're back in business, or did we stop again? Hits for 2. Looks like you might be recovering.
I think you were onto something calling this potentially the most broken deck in Modern.
When it works, it's really good. I mean, he did this on turn 2.
There's no other deck that can generate this much toughness this quickly.
This deck's really good against Doran. just the nightmare matchup for Doran. Another Eidolon of Rhetoric. This one's going to stick.
This will block one of these 2 100s. Hold the fort.
Yeah, I mean, if only we had 2 Bone Saws, we'd be in business. Retract, drawn. Oh, a turn too late for Aaron.
Yeah, if Aaron was just
There's
able to
just
get
no
one card
justice.
deeper.
There's no justice, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, he does play cards like Echoing Truth. So, in theory, he would end step Echoing Truth, the Eidolon, and kill him.
Right.
And this is the kind of deck where you board an Echoing Truth against everybody.
Yes.
Because you're putting one and you draw your, like combos where you draw your entire deck during the combo turn, you should basically always board in one Echoing Truth because it's very free.
Mm-hmm.
And now we're going to see this problem where Jeremiah casts Ulamog and is killing both Pure Steel Paladins, and he will eat away the creatures.
All right. So here's a question for our resident math scientist, Matthias Hunt.
All right.
Now, the Pure Steel Paladin deck is trying to combo off by Grape Shotting. Aaron has already drawn this many equipment. Let's pretend he doesn't have Retract.
Could he still win?
How many spells? I suppose because the Retract is in the deck, but let's say all the Retracts were exiled and the 20 cards from one Ulamog hit. Can he still win the game?
Well, does he have 20 spells?
That's what I'm asking you.
Okay. This isn't that interesting of a math question. We just look at the number of spells he's played and we subtract, we just look at his deck list. I think he's short.
Okay. That's good math.
Karn, he's definitely going to be short after this Ulamog exiles 20 cards out of his library. Then we're really in trouble. And Ulamog will go ahead and eat away 20 cards. So one of the things you can actually do to avoid fizzling in this deck, so you saw Aaron try to combo on turn 2. Mm-hmm. Because you're more than a turn faster than Tron, one thing Aaron could have done is gone turn 3, started the combo, and then drawn into, it was pretty free for him to try that, draw into Mox Opal, and then play 2 Paladins and start going from there.
Sure. One
of the cards I've been playing list is Pentad Prism, so that I can do that on turn 3 more, just like turn 2 Prism. You see he's going to be Jeremiah Linebarder and green-white Tron. He's going to go ahead and take the match in 2. Game 1 has the path to exile. Aaron checked him on it. Mm-hmm. Game 2, a fizzle on Aaron's side. This deck actually, when you go for the turn 2 combo, its fail rate's really higher than you'd like to admit.
Mm-hmm. I assume that you know the percentage off the top of your head.
I actually don't. I mean, you know, it would depend on a lot of things, like how many equipment are in your hand when you're starting.
Sure.
Yeah, so it'd be a turn 2 would be a function of like how many Mox Opals, retracts, and equipment are in your hand when you start. So it'd be like a 3 argument function, and then like if you find an Opal and a retract early, you probably can't miss any. The odds of you missing after the first retract is very low. But
so you're a pretty big combo player.
Yeah.
The first time that I ever played Extended, there was a deck called TEPS. The Extended
I played this.
Perfect Storm.
I played this in Extended.
Mind's Desire was legal.
Yep.
The deck was super messed up. I played this deck in a tournament. My opponent cast Chalice on 0, checks Lotus Bloom. Chalice on 2, checks Burning Witch, Cabal Ritual, a lot of the meat of the deck.
So TEPS didn't have Burning Wish, depending on when we're talking about it.
Well,
so
I'm talking about when it did, obviously.
Okay, so these are all right, all right.
I go off for 10 through this, because the deck's pretty messed up.
Sure.
And I miss on 10 cards off Mind Desire.
So this is back when you have like the egg lands, where you have the lands that sacrifice for 2 mana?
Yes, Irrigation Ditch.
All right.
And this is the story